all of us around the world are understanding our own selfhoods as remnants of war. Ocean, I put him up alongside the Iliad and the Ramayana as a contemporary artist who is processing war. My name is Kaneza Schaal, and I am a Southern Futures artist at Carolina Performing Arts. And I'm here working on a new piece based on a book of poems by Ocean Vuong called Night Sky with Exit Wounds. The piece is composed by Bryce Dessner, and it is being made for a magnificent soprano called Fleur Baron. One of the things that is so special about collaborating with Bryce on this piece is that we're getting to be in conversation so early in a compositional process. You know, we have 2.5 years before this piece is going to live in the world, and we're 2 days into a room. It's incredible to get to bask in this early moment.
This adaptation of Night Sky with Exit Wounds definitely falls in line with a lineage of experimental and contemporary new music. A lot of times opera is about the voice, but I think what experimental and new opera has definitely brought to the long history of opera is this detachment from plot in a way, and being able to sit in environments, in sonic landscapes, in scenes, and letting music unfold over time. This allows us to be in a much more intimate space with one another.
Stars, or rather the drains of heaven, waiting. Little holes, little centuries opening just long enough for us to slip through. A machete on the deck left out to dry. My back turned to him, my feet in the eddies. He crouches beside me, his breath a misplaced weather. I let him cup a handful of the sea into my hair and wring it out.
Opera in its history has always dealt with violence. The violence that Night Sky with Exit Wounds is trying to work through is the violence of war, processing war through intergenerational trauma, the individual's processing of a kind of globalizing violence. It's the 50th anniversary of the American War in Vietnam. Ocean represents the first generation away from the American War in Vietnam, and what does it mean to carry the work of processing that war?
Just like the fairy tales.
We decided that Immigrant Haibun, this poem, would become a kind of spine, and the narrator in that is a woman on a journey.
I pull the mast to full sail. He throws my name into the air. I watch the syllables crumble into pebbles across the deck.
These people who are not named are on a raft and are crossing an ocean to a new life.
This traversing of the cultures from Vietnam into America, and the way that the global impact of migration and the migratory patterns around it all, it just speaks right to music.
What Ocean Vuong is really saying in his work is that you have to understand me in all of my human complexity, and that refugees come with desires and ideas about beauty in the world. His work really pushes against portraying the refugee as irreparably torn. This
figure of the mother kind of started to emerge as a organizing principle in how we were hearing the text. Fleur immediately came to mind for Bryce in terms of a voice he would want to compose for. Getting to hear these sounds sit on Fleur, immediately the kind of presence of mother or portrait of self as mother dropped into the room.
Watching them work this week has been a real treat, and I can see how incredibly collaborative it is. It's not taking Ocean Vuong's poetry and setting it to music. It's really all of these different minds coming from different angles and creating something new.
I invited two visual artists onto the project, Christopher Myers and Tuan Andrew Wen. Tuan builds instruments from undetonated ordnances that are gathered in the countryside.
What Nguyen is doing in Vietnam, excavating these artifacts, is to create a powerful new counter-narrative that tells a completely different story of what came out of the Vietnam War.
One of them is a bell where you can see the shell of a bomb. The others are B-52 bombs that are shells that are tuned to certain notes.
Opera is a medium that can be capacious enough to tackle these big feelings of the devastations of new technologies on our human connections and our bodies.
There's a long history in North Carolina of Southeast Asian refugee populations coming and settling in the state. Many of them are now students in the UNC system and here in Chapel Hill. There's a lot of history there that needs to be uncovered, and I think that can only enrich what is already such a complex piece.
You can't think about the American South without thinking about the global South. The American South is a place where a processing of identity through the remnants of war, sculpturally, names on buildings, signage, identity, monuments. I think there's a transparency to that reckoning or to that tension that is real everywhere in the country, but that happens here in a very concentrated way. So it's been very meaningful to me and very exciting to me to begin our journey in this place.